Hello everyone. Today I come bearing good news. If you are somebody who has a sweet tooth and are looking to break the monotony of the day by adding a little bit of sweetness to something you eat or drink, then this video would be very helpful because we talk about three alternatives to sugar that are actually completely fine to be had if you have a fatty liver, and actually some of them may help reverse your fatty liver. But before we go there, let's talk about some of the sugar alternatives people use that may not be as good and are actually worsening your fatty liver. So we all know that the white sugar is a strict no-no when you have fatty liver. It is full of carbohydrates, it increases your glucose level and also increases fat deposits in your liver when metabolized. Some people use Splenda as an alternative. However, Splenda is an artificial sweetener. It is processed and it is actually shown to be bad for your fatty liver. Other alternatives such as brown sugar, jaggery, and even honey may not be the best alternatives, and if you are using these alternatives thinking that they will help you for your fatty liver disease, then you may be actually making your condition worse. So let's talk about some of the better sugar alternatives that have actually shown benefits, especially in terms of fatty liver disease. Now let's make one thing very clear, right? If you have diabetes along with fatty liver disease, it is always better to check with your doctor before trying any of these alternatives, even when they have 0 calories and 0 sugar in them. So the first alternative we want to talk about is an alcohol sugar called erythritol. While erythritol has a little bit less sweetness than the sugar, the good part is it has 0 calories, 0 sugar content, which also means 0 tooth decay. The most important part about erythritol for NAFLD or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is that it has 0 carbs. And actually studies have shown that erythritol has antioxidant properties which help protect fatty liver from getting any worse. There is a limit to how much you can use, and if you eat it beyond that limit, it could cause some bloating or gas as side effects. So that is something that you might have to try and see with erythritol what kind of usage is good for you. Technically, it is said that about 0.45 grams per pound of weight is okay to be consumed. Beyond that, there is some bloating. What that means is you can eat about 45 grams of erythritol if you're 100 pounds of a person, and beyond that you might feel a little bit of bloating. Some of the erythritol brands that I often use are given in the description of the video. Please take a look. They have helped me tremendously in improving my fatty liver. The second sugar alternative for your fatty liver disease is stevia. Stevia powder is an extract from the stevia plant and it is a natural extract. So the benefits are huge. It is one of the best alternatives of white sugar. It is slightly sweeter than the white sugar, so you might end up using it a little bit less. There are a lot of studies happening on stevia, and while it is good for the blood glucose, it may not be good if you have other conditions like low blood pressure. So it is always a good idea to talk to your doctor about starting stevia if you have low blood pressure along with NAFLD. You would often find stevia brands combined with erythritol when you go to the store to buy stevia, and that is fine because erythritol is also known to be okay for NAFLD. However, pure stevia extract is the best. The only other problem with stevia is its aftertaste, and it depends on person to person. Some people have reported that this aftertaste and some people have not. I usually feel a little bit of aftertaste, a metallic aftertaste, if I use stevia. However, that doesn't stop me from using it and satisfying some of that sweet cravings I have during the day. And as I said before, raw and pure stevia is the hardest to find, even though it is the best form of stevia. And in the description below, I have given the links of some of my go-to brands of stevia that I really like to use. And finally, one of the best sugar alternatives, especially for NAFLD, is monk fruit sugar. Now, monk fruit is a small melon found in China and Thailand. And even though you probably might not actually get monk fruit by itself because it spoils very quickly, what you will get is an extracted juice and powdered form of monk fruit in various brands. The best part of monk fruit is that it is much sweeter than sugar. It has zero carbs and zero sugars, and it does not leave an aftertaste. The taste might be a little bit different than sugar, and only the most sophisticated of the palates may actually discern the difference. I have never been able to discern the difference. There are a lot of studies happening on monk fruit currently. However, since it is actually zero calorie and zero carb, it is good for your fatty liver because at least it would reduce overall sugar that you take in your diet, which is harmful for fatty liver. Now, there are some limitations. I have tried monk fruits with baking goods like cake. It is not recommended to use them because it doesn't act exactly like sugar at high temperatures. It is still the best and the most solid alternative for sugar, especially if you have an NAFLD. Again, if you have NAFLD along with some of the other problems like diabetes or blood pressures, it is best to check with your physicians before starting any of these alternatives. And again, I have provided my go-to brands of monk sugar in the description so that you can take a look and order some for yourself. I hope you found this video helpful and it helps you tackle those sweet cravings that you get during the day without actually giving up on your NAFLD diet. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a long race and we are all in it together. All the best with your fight with fatty liver disease, and until next time.